Okay. I was expecting the ports to actually reduce that felt snappiness. Yep, trigger's nice. Welcome back, everybody. Clint here today, excited to be talking to you about something new from Canik, their very first USA-made pistol, and when it was unexpectedly announced at SHOT Show this past year, quite a few of you hit me up like, hey Clint, can you get your hands on this gun and see if it's worth it at the end of the day? And that's exactly what I am going to do. This is Canik's MC9, the Mete MC9 Prime. Good looking little pistol if you ask me, true Canik fashion. It looks good, looks functional, looks practical. The stippling feels great. It's nice and aggressive. You're not going to be losing that grip on it. It does have an integrated compensator and 3 ports located at pretty much like the 12 o'clock position on the barrel, the 1 and 11 o'clock, if you will. So you can go ahead and take a look at that there. That is a nice thing to have in this case on compact pistols. Usually, however, I kind of steer away from ports on barrels on my carry guns. This might be a video I actually kind of go into depth about, where I do a direct comparison between 2 identical guns, one with and one without portings, see if we have a velocity change, things like that. Typically, in my mind, for carry guns, I don't want ports. The only reason I think about that, though, and it might not make all that much sense, honestly, because there's pros and cons and I can argue with myself constantly, but my idea against ports for carry guns is I don't want to lose out on any velocity whatsoever because I'm already dealing with a very short barrel. And, well, if you have ports that are bleeding off gases before the muzzle of the gun, then those gases are, well, they're not pushing the projectile out the end of the barrel. However, it's a carry gun. So the likelihood of me engaging out to distance, the likelihood of how much velocity am I really losing is probably negligible, and it doesn't really matter. It's just something weird I think about. All right, I know. It makes sense. Sometimes it doesn't. Whatever. Anyway, stay tuned for that video where I do a direct comparison. Speaking of comparisons, what does this gun compare to? I don't know, probably something like the SIG 365 that you see right here. This is the X Macro AXG Legion. This is the comped model, so it has an integrated compensator, not ported, but does have an integrated compensator on the slide. Or something like the Shallow Tech here, which is a beautiful gun, which you'll be seeing that review coming very, very soon as well. However, those are both metal framed guns. This is obviously polymer framed, and I am excited to see how this thing feels. As I go back to the entire compensation, porting, and all that stuff, compact guns are typically a little bit more snappy because even though it's just a 9mm, still has a little bit of punch to it, enough to actually feel that in those micro compact guns. You take something like Canik's steel framed rival that you see right here, this gun, which has no ports, no comp, doesn't recoil whatsoever. That's also because it's a heavy gun and it's a much larger frame gun. So it is what it is. Smaller gun, more recoil. Don't let the FUDs at any gun shop tell you that. Just because it's smaller, it's gonna shoot easier or something like that. Because anyway, okay, back to it. So overall length is coming in at about 6.73 inches, 3.6 inch barrel. Stippling, as I've already hit on, is a little aggressive, but I like that. Not mad about that whatsoever. Trigger is awesome. Go ahead and show that off to you guys right now. Just a little bit of take up before you hit an obvious wall. And then she drops. And then the reset. Whew. Barely any movement. Watch that reset again. Yeah, that's awesome. Comes with 2 17-round magazines, a G-code holster, in fact, and also has the adapter for a paddle. This case, as you can tell, everything that comes in it is pretty much practical. You can use it, including all of the... Yeah, okay. So, again, 2 17-round magazines in true Canik fashion. I can take out of my rival. You're going to have a little overhang, but if you wanted that extra capacity and you already got a bunch of Caniks laying around, boom, you got it. You can do the same thing going with this magazine or these magazines too, like the Mete MC9, the actual compact guy, not the Prime. MC9 isn't going to have the length needed you're just not going to have deep enough penetration to be effective. However, you can take the longer boys and they're going to fit and run just fine in the MC9. Okay, cool. It's only about 1.13 inches wide, which is great. So again, nice and narrow. I am noticing it does have, in true Canik fashion, a little bit higher of a bore axis. So we'll see if the integrated compensation and those ports actually negate any type of snappy felt recoil, anything like that here in just a moment. Other than that, this gun is very comfortable, extremely ergonomic, feels great in the hand, ambidextrous slide release. It does have extremely ergonomic control, especially with that mag release right here. You can take a look at that guy, textured for your releasing pleasures. Does have also an integrated mag well, flared mag well, and so yeah, this thing feels really freaking good. Sights pick up nice and naturally. I probably will be throwing on an optic at some point. It is the RMSC footprint, so Holosun K, and it, you know, fits a wide variety of different optics out there. So great. Picatinny underneath for your, you know, flashlight, laser, whatever you want to throw on there. You can, you know, do what you want. But yeah, I think that's about it. Cleaning kit. Oh yeah, you got your little, talk about MC9, also your little toolkit. Canik comes right here, you know, that's always fun. So, and a speed loader. So I always like the value that, you know, Canik throws in their guns. They just keep throwing you stuff, right? And at an MSRP of $649.99, so far I'm pretty impressed with everything that you get. Now, how does it shoot? That's the real important question. Let's go find out. All right, very first shots with the Canik Mete MC9 Prime. Let's see how she does. 115 grain. Okay. I was expecting the ports to actually reduce that felt snappiness. All right, let me say this. The gun feels great. Ergonomics are there, but it is a little snappy, a little bit more snappy than what I was expecting. I'm running right now 115 grain. I'm gonna load up some 124 grain after I shoot the other mag that I have for it here. But 115 grain, yeah. You know, we'll see, we'll see. Well, let's go ahead and insert fresh magazine. Again, I mean, the controls on it's super easy to manipulate, so I will say that. That definitely feels good. All right, let's do it again here. Up. Okay, nice. I will say it's easy to shoot fast. My Canik optic that I have on here, I just threw on here. I took it off my MC9, my regular MC9, which that is the micro compact made for concealed carry, as is this, but the regular MC9 is a little bit more small. And I don't think it's as snappy as what I'm feeling with this gun, and that one doesn't have ports on it. Interesting. I think I just need to like load it up, shoot it some more. Let's try the 124 grain, see where we're at with that. But before I do that, big shout out to my friends over at Monadnock Firearms, who's been supporting the channel since day number one, as I'm sure you guys have already heard all about them if you have been watching the channel. If you're new to the channel, check out Monadnock. These are great guys, local to me up here in the Northeast, but they are available nationwide, and if you're paying attention to your screen, you should, for obvious reasons. All right, so big shout out to those guys. Thank you, Monadnock Firearms, for being friends to myself and the channel, and Gun Owners of America. Guys, if you are looking for a no compromise 2A lobby in DC, fighting not only to defend the Second Amendment, but restore the Second Amendment, check out Gun Owners of America and their student outreach program, in which I am co-chair of, known as 2A Defenders. GOA offers a lot of different programs that are outreaches for like women, hunters, students, and you should check them all out because, well, more people we get exercising their Second Amendment, the easier it will be to actually fight to defend and restore it. All right, so check out Gun Owners of America. Let's go load this guy back up and finish this video out. All right, one more mag of the MagTech 115 grain I've been running. Big shout out to Shooting Targets USA, by the way, for supplying all the targets here. If you are looking for some new steel targets, check out Shooting Targets USA. Use code MAGDUMP to get yourself a little discount, all right? 115 grain one more time. Let's see if we can see a difference between 115 and 124. So, I'm definitely hitting a little to the left, so I should probably adjust my optic. But now let's go ahead and throw on the 124 grain and see how that feels. .124 grain. This is the Fiocchi 124 grain. A little bit more snappy from what I can tell, but there you have it. Overall, let's go over what I talked about a little bit earlier. 3.6 inch barrel, just over an inch wide, overall length about 6.7 inches. Stippling is aggressive, feels really good on the hand though, even though I've only run maybe about how many boxes did I go through already? 100, 150, somewhere in there. Not a lot of ammo through this gun already, but it feels good, other than it is a little snappy. So, my thoughts on that. Canik, even though they are great little guns, I do believe that because of the high bore access, which ultimately means where the barrel sits in relation to my hand. Take a look at this, right? You're gonna notice it's pretty high up there. If you want a little bit softer shooting gun, if you want something that's not gonna have as much muzzle flip, then having something where the barrel or the bore axis sits a little bit lower is going to be a little bit flatter shooting. And that's just because you gotta think about that reciprocating mass and how that is going to flip up and down like that. If it's a little bit more lower on the hand, it's gonna come a little bit more straight back. I hope that makes sense to you guys. Look, at the end of the day, I'm more of a shooter, and sometimes my articulation doesn't exactly hit a home run, but I'm hoping I'm making sense to a lot of you guys there. Look at it this way. The lower the barrel sits, the flatter the shooting the gun, typically, right? So, because this guy has a little bit higher bore access, even though it does have a ported barrel, probably why we're getting a little bit more of that muzzle flip. Other than that, the flat face trigger feels excellent. Really like how that feels. The ambi slide release is very easy to manipulate, as it is on just about all of their other guns that I have shot. The Canik optic, I think looks pretty good on this gun. Nice low profile. This is actually the exact same optic that I took off of my MC9, because I am going to carry this gun because I want to try it out more. I want to shoot it more. I want to break it in. I want to throw a TLR7 on there from Streamlight, and at the end of it all, I think it's a great gun, especially for the price point which it's coming at, MSRP again being $649. Not bad. So, you guys tell me what you think down in the comment section below for Canik's very first USA-made pistol. Do you think that they didn't quite make the mark on this one? Do you think it's a home run, especially with again, Canik has always done this with all of their pistols. The value that's added in the packaging. You get the holster, which I am currently wearing from G-Code, which is very nice and easy enough to use and also set up, so that way you can have the tension that you want on the pistol. You know, I'm already working on a few of these, another 1,000 round review on this gun, and let's see if maybe it softens up over a period of time. Does that make sense? I don't know, but we're gonna find out after 1,000 rounds. How about that? I'll see you guys down in the comments section below. Thank you all for tuning in about the Canik Mete MC9 Prime. I'm excited to see what you guys think about it. I will say that sights pick up very nice, even with the co-witness with the Canik optic. Again, I do like it. I do like it. It's just it had a little bit more recoil than what I was expecting. But at the same time, as I've said before, don't be a bitch, you know? Go shoot. God bless you guys. We'll see you right here next time.